What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to another Project Cars video on this channel. Today we've got an online race, my first online race in fact, and this is an ARR social race. So if you don't know what ARR is, it's the Apex Online Racing League, probably one of the biggest leagues out there for Formula 1 racing, but also now AOR are starting to see if we could maybe do some league racing on Project Cars. So this was sort of one of the first social races they've done on the PS4 platform in the Formula B car. So we're on the qualifying lap at the moment, so I've already done one lap. That was only good enough for 9th because I made a mistake on that lap, so this is the one we have to get right. We don't have long left in the session, so this is pretty much my last lap to get a good qualifying time in. So yeah, we're here at Catalonia for the Spanish GP. You can see the time of day is roughly around sunset, so I think it was around 4 PM for some reason, but it kind of made for a nice interesting kind of difference to the track. Nice little sunshine coming through. When the sun comes down, you can get that lens flare going on. And yeah, we're here in the Formula B car, which is essentially the equivalent of a GP2 car, I guess you could say. You know, not a lot of downforce, quite heavy steering, but it's a lot better than the Formula A car. I think everyone who's played the game, especially all the league races, we all agree that the Formula A car is a little bit weird. It's a little bit fake, you know. It's also very inconsistent, you know. Some people on different platforms have different responses to it. Some people lock up all the time, some people never lock up, some people find it way too understeery, some people find it way too oversteery. It's a very weird car, but the Formula B car is a very solid car, and that's why we've chosen it to do a social race, to see if maybe AOR could do a league with the Formula B car. So that was our qualifying lap. We got P4 in the end on the grid, which is not too bad, to be honest. We got Torano Tigger there, or Torano Tom F1 there, as he's known on his PSN account, on pole position by quite some way. Actually looks like he's got some sort of secret to doing a fast lap in the Formula B cars, or maybe he's just practiced a little bit more than the rest of us. This was literally, I got in like 30 minutes of practice before this, and then this is literally my first ever online race on this game. So we're revving up to the lights going out here at the Spanish Grand Prix. 20 laps ahead of us, Formula B, and we're off. Green lights and P3. It's a fantastic start, but there's been a huge crash. Absolute mayhem at the start, and we've broken our front wing, but luckily it was on visual damage. At this point, I didn't know if it was on visual, so I was taking it quite cautiously. I actually took it really cautiously into the first corner, but then I realized that it was only on visual only, which was, well, thank heavens for that, for setting up the lobby visual only. Crazy crash. Looks like P3 got an amazing start, or maybe a jump start. I think it was just an amazing start, and I don't think he was ready for the amazing start he got, so he was trying to dodge away from the person in pole, swooped to the left, and then got it a bit wrong, and then the physics of the game kind of just exploded a little bit, and he kind of went up in the air. I didn't have any time to react, so I hit him. I spun around, and then I got hit by someone else. So bit of a crazy start, none of it my own fault, but we carried on here. We're up to P7 now after someone lost it just before in the last sector. And so we've got 20 laps here. Surprisingly, the Formula B cars can go the entire 20-lap race with soft tyres. So it's not like F1 previously on AOR, where you make like 1 or 2 pit stops in like a 20 to 30 lap race. You know, no pit stops needed for this car, or most cars really, in a 20-lap race, which is a little bit strange. And someone else there loses it. I nearly lose it there. Opposite lock. Up to P6 now, just showing that, you know, this game, the cars are difficult to drive, you know. I mean, you know, I didn't really have too many incidents in this race. I think we had a few mistakes, and I think I have one mistake coming up later in the video, which did cost me a position or two. But generally, I had a pretty consistent race, and a lot of other people made a few more mistakes than me, and I was able to gain some positions. So, you know, it is a tough car to drive, and I think, personally, in my opinion, I did quite a good job at handling it. I mean, I'm really enjoying the feel of most open wheel cars on this game so far. I mean, I haven't driven too many normal cars. I've driven a GT3 car, the Mclaren, in a few laps here or there, and that was pretty okay. But in terms of Formula cars, open wheelers that I've raced, generally all of them apart from Formula A, I felt really comfy with, and actually it looks like I'm a bit more consistent. Maybe not fast, but at least consistent than a few others. I think a few others maybe try to obviously push it a bit more to the max, maybe to try and get the speed, and then they make a few mistakes, whereas I think maybe I do have to push myself a little bit to maybe get some more speed, because I'm definitely not the fastest by a long shot on any of these cars. But maybe that's because that's part of the reason why I'm not making too many mistakes. Maybe I'm not pushing the car enough to really push the boundaries what it can do. I'm not too sure, but so far so good. I mean, I'm really feeling comfortable with the car during the race. This race was a solid race, I guess. Not too much action. There is a few little bits of dicing with another car coming up in the video, which you'll see. But yeah, the car's looking really good. The track's looking really nice. It was a really nice time to do the race, actually, in the end. I thought it was a bit weird in qualifying, with it being like 4 PM or whatnot. And yet again, another car loses it. I lock up a little bit to go into the chicane, but we're up to P3 now of 10. And you can see I made all my positions just because people were making mistakes. And I was being quite consistent. So I think consistency goes a long way, especially at the beginning stages where no one really knows how the game properly works and stuff like that. So yeah, as I said, this is a first kind of social race for Formula B on AOR, and I'll go a bit more into depth. So Apex Online Racing League is run by a person called FizzyFan. Hopefully, maybe some of you guys know who he is. So generally, AOR does F1 League. So on F1 2015, when that comes out, be sure to go check out AOR, Apex Online Racing, for your league racing on F1 2015. There, we lost the car. That was pretty much the only big major mistake I made in the entire race, and that lost me down to P4. So we got to try and get back on the car ahead of us to try and regain 3rd place. But yeah, Apex Online Racing, they're dabbling into P cars, trying to see what we could do on project cars. I believe they're doing some testing on all platforms, Xbox One, PC, PS4. So do go over there. If you're already signed up, then do check out the forums, and you can maybe sign up for a social race. I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of social races going on this week, especially. So do go check that out, because they're trying to test out what they can do before they announce any leagues. So definitely worth going over and helping them out, test what's possible. But it looks like if they're going to do an open wheel kind of class of league racing, I think it's leaning towards Formula B instead of Formula A, because the Formula A car is just way too weird for everyone's liking. But now going down the inside of this guy, trying to overtake him, and I think he was having a little bit of an issue with his brakes, because he was going quite slowly into some of the braking zones compared to me. So I think he might have been having a little bit of an issue on the brakes, but he's also going a bit squirmy. So we're just trying to overtake him, but keep it clean. Obviously, normal AOR rules apply. So there again on the exit, he just parks it on the apex. So I'm really not sure what was going on. I think that may have been a little bit of a lag spike there, because his car did kind of shift position a bit too quickly. So I think it was a bit of a lag spike situation there, maybe. But at this point, I was a bit confused at what was going on, but I was just trying to overtake him once more. The front tyres were overheating there, you can see on the bottom right. My tyres were generally overheating through the entire race, so I still need to learn on how to kind of stop them overheating. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty much I had no clue why they were overheating. Pretty much every lap, 1 or 2 of the tyres were overheating. And then on the qualifying runs, all 4 tyres were overheating on the qualifying run, so I really have no answer to that. So obviously, my very first online race, my very first race in a Formula B car, so plenty to learn still. But yeah, we're still trying to catch this guy, being a lap or 2 now, stuck behind him. We've also got someone else coming up behind us, so now we desperately need to try and overtake this guy to kind of carry on. And I think the guy behind us is just going to lose it soon, as you'll see. But we're going to try and overtake this guy coming into the same section where we got pretty close to him last lap. So we're going to try underbraking. Underbraking, you can see we just catch so much to him. So I'm not too sure what was going on. Maybe he's on a pad, I'm not too sure. But we did catch up strangely a lot to him in that corner. So now we're just trying to maybe see what we can do. And at this point, I was probably thinking we could maybe just make a move on the exit of the chicane onto the pit straight. So we'll just kind of stick behind him there. But yeah, the Formula B cars, interesting to drive, I must say. They're obviously modeled after GP2 cars, so the steering is pretty damn heavy. Obviously GP2, no power steering or anything like that. So the steering is pretty heavy. And here on track action, trying to break the toe from the guy behind us, but he's getting a good slipstream nonetheless. And we go a bit defensive there, going to turn 1. But yeah, the Formula B cars, like GP2 cars, the steering quite heavy. Not, a fair amount of downforce. It is quite grippy on the high speed corners, like this corner especially. You can get the power down quite easily. But definitely a bit of a lack of downforce on the low speed corners. You can tell because there's quite a lot of understeer, especially in the second gear corner. Actually, the corner coming up after this corner, after we go around this right-hander, the next one, the left-hander, that is I found that very tricky, very hard to get the car turned in. I'm having to go, as you can see right now, completely full lock, even more than full lock. In terms of on my Thrustmaster, I'm having to go one-handed, turning it left in second gears. It's very tough to turn in, so I'm not sure if I have to maybe tweak my setup or tuning or whatnot to get that fixed, or I think that's maybe just the general characteristics of the car. Also need to work out on the fueling, because I noticed after the race that I had a lot of fuel on board. I'm not too sure if you can take that off. I've never actually seen the option to take fuel out the car on any of the setup menus, because I think they need to do a better job at showing you where things are, because they just don't tell you where everything is. So I can't even find where you take fuel out at the moment. So if you know where that is, do tell me, because I'm a bit of a noob at that. I just don't know where it is, and I only noticed after the race that I was carrying a lot of fuel. A lot of you mentioned that in the career mode as well, that I was carrying more fuel than I needed to. So maybe that is the secret to going a bit faster. Maybe I just need to stop putting on like 70 litres of fuel or whatnot. But yeah, apart from the speed, generally consistency-wise, I'm really enjoying the game. I'm quite consistent on these open wheelers at the moment, apart from a few hiccups here and there. But obviously everyone's going to have those. But once again, third lap stuck behind this guy. Finally, he loses the back end or something in the middle of that corner. We finally get past him for P3. And that's pretty much where it ends, guys. From lap 9 to lap 20. No more overtakes, no more action really. We finished up in P3, which is not too bad for my first ever Formula B race online. First online race, first Formula B race, so double whammy. And third place is not too bad. The top two guys had amazing pace, especially Tommy up front. He had, Torino, he had some amazing pace up front. So I think he mentioned on the forums that he took some fuel out, so maybe that's something I need to look at. But yeah, enjoyable first ever race for AOR on the social race for Formula B. Let me know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the action, then do leave a like. Comment below on what you thought. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for more Project Cars content, career mode, and hopefully some more online races with you guys. I might be doing some open lobbies at the end of the week. So follow my Twitter account at _aarava, and I will tweet out the end of the week on Friday maybe if I'm going to be doing an open lobby on the PS4 and Project Cars. But yeah, don't worry guys, also for the people who want F1, F1 is coming back probably around Thursday because I have exams on Tuesday and Wednesday. So be patient, F1 is coming back on Thursday with career mode action. But yeah, I've been Aarava. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next time.